Now there's one very simple move that you can do to finally stop standing up out of your posture in the downswing. It actually has to do with your shirt buttons, believe it or not. You see, when I stand up out of my posture, my hips go in toward the golf ball, my spine straightens up, and my shirt buttons actually get farther away from the golf ball. So that would look something like this. I'm going to go ahead and stand up in my downswing. Go ahead and top it there. Obviously a terrible swing. I'm trying to demo kind of an extreme there where I'm really backing out of it, and I feel like I can barely reach the golf ball. Well, when I think about my shirt buttons actually getting closer to the golf ball, this gets easier and easier. And see what the pros are doing, which is so counterintuitive, is they're delivering the club with about 30% of the loft that it naturally has on it. So if I have my 6-iron with 30 degrees of loft, I'm going to lean this shaft forward about 10 degrees until I take 10 degrees off, 30%. Well, as I'm doing that, the handle is getting farther in front of my body. It's also getting closer to the ground. You know, if I was to lean this all the way forward, the handle would be way down there. It'd have to be way here, much lower than I'd be comfortable with. So most players have just never had that feeling. And mostly it's because of what their chest is doing. If I feel like my shirt buttons in the downswing are going to cover on top of this golf ball, and this is what pros are talking about when they say cover it. They mean my chest is going forward. If I had a laser shooting out of my shirt buttons, it wants to be pointing straight down to the ground. And look at what that does with my hands. Instead of losing my posture and being very tall like this, where now my shaft has to be straight up and down, I can barely reach the golf ball. As I start to cover the golf ball, now I have all this space to get tons of shaft lean, just like the pros are doing. So for me, the feeling that I want to have in the downswing, if I start losing my posture at all, is I want to feel like as soon as I start down, my rear end shoots back toward this wall, and that makes my shirt buttons go closer and closer to the ground. I want to feel like my shirt buttons are on top of the golf ball, and as I rotate open, it's almost like my shirt buttons are touching this golf ball and kind of rolling it forward like that. That's almost the visual I have. Obviously that's a silly visual, but that in my mind, that tends to work. So I'm bending forward enough to where it feels like to me my shirt buttons are on the golf ball, and as I rotate open, that just kind of rolls the ball forward. There we go. So I hit that one pretty good, 190 yards for a 6-iron. Not too bad. Now, one thing that will happen naturally with this is you'll start to see the ball flight get lower and lower and even more penetrating. So on the bottom of the screen, we can see dynamic loft of 25.8. I'd actually just like to see that a little bit lower, down around, say, 21 degrees. And all that means is, as I get closer and closer, if I don't want to bury this club down into the ground, I have to get more and more shaft lean. So the closer I get to the ground, the more my club shaft is going to be leaning forward. Not only does that help you to get more compression, to get more solid strike on the ball, it also, when the hands, the more they get forward, the easier it is to get the divot in front and get rid of those daggone chunks and thin shots and inconsistency. So here I'm going to get even closer, try to get even more shaft lean. Let's see if we can get that number down around, say, 21, 22, something like that. There we go, pretty solid. 20.4, look how the carry distance shot up to 201. I could feel that divot coming down in front. Everything got a lot easier.